Welcome back, everybody, to the Star Wars podcast, where we talk all things Marvel, Star Wars, and everything in between. Please take a moment to check our show notes to find our social media, merch, and more. Today, I can't believe I'm saying this, guys. We were kind of wrapping our brains at the start of this. We couldn't believe that we're talking about The Mandalorian. We've never covered The Mandalorian, the Star Wars Marvel cast. So basically, the podcast started about a month after season 2 ended. So we never had a chance to cover this. But yes, we are talking about The Mandalorian, and I am so excited to do it here with the great magistrate Tommy. Tommy, how's it going?
I'm good. I just wanted to check. I can drink here in this school, right? This is a bar, right?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I'm excited to cover this, Michael. We're here. We kind of covered it in the book of Star Wars. I think that might be what's throwing us off. Is we covered Mando. We just didn't cover the Mandalorian.
Exactly. And I'm welcoming back a guest here that I'm super excited to talk about. This is a 2-time appearance for this man. They joined us on the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special for the holiday season. But guess what, baby? It's Mando season now. We're joined by actor and dad of the year from the Cast of Color podcast. It is John Carter. How's it going, John?
Oh, man. Thank you for having me. Michael, Tommy, the boys. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you again.
Yes, and you brought a friend with you here today, and somebody I'm very excited to welcome into the Star Wars family. It is, I'm just gonna say, Jerry. I'm sorry, I'm working on it. Okay, the next time it'll be better. Welcome to Jerry. He's a guitarist, musical talent, and the co-host of the Cast of Color podcast. How's it going, man?
Hey, hello. You guys are too kind. Thank you.
Yes. Guys, I'm thrilled to be talking about this. Typically I like to get everyone else's thoughts up front here, but I'm just going to say it. I am in love with this episode. And here's the thing, Bad Batch has been an absolute drag. You know, we have not had a lot of fun with it. And Andor was great, right? I loved my anti-fascist show. But at the end of the day, this is Star Wars to me, baby. I am loving every bit of it. And actually, since you're new here, I'm going to throw it over to Jerry. Jerry, what was your thoughts on this premiere?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's very, very Star Wars, just from everything we saw with the little creatures looking all stop motion, the big monster at the beginning. It was really cool. I feel like this episode, to me, it looks like it's going to be the strongest season of Mando, just because the first season, it was very Monster of the Week, which was cool. But, you know, I didn't have the serialization that I kind of wanted. And the second season had a lot of really cool cameos, right? But then again, it was it lost a little bit of the Star Wars, right? It did that thing where everybody knows each other, right? So this season looks cool. It looks cool. It looks a little scaled back. It looks like an actual Mandalorian story. So yeah, as you can tell, I like Star Wars. So I'm glad to be on here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, John. I'm going to throw it to you now. Premiere,
Man.
are you busting through the roof like I am?
I don't know if I'm busting through the roof, but I did enjoy it very much. I mean, I enjoy Mandalorian every single season. It's something that I don't know, just showed that for someone like me who doesn't have the vast Star Wars lore knowledge, it's a show I still enjoy every single season. Every season premiere, I just really enjoy it, and this one didn't disappoint at all. You know, the little just different parts. I like little creatures were, you know, the mechanics. You know, it felt straight out of, you know, the old school Star Wars, like we were kids. So I enjoyed this premiere. I think it's shaping up to be a really another exciting season. These seasons are fucking dope. Mandalorian is just one of the better shows of Star Wars on Disney Plus. It's a go-to that I know it's gonna be a quality show. So I fucked with this premiere.
Yeah, it feels like with every Disney Plus show, Tommy, that we're like flipping a coin. You know, it's like, what is it? What are we getting here? You know, is this gonna be a Loki, or is this gonna be a Falcon and the Winter Soldier? But I think Mandalorian's the one that you just can kind of count on. Tommy, what do you think?
Yeah, no, Mando's where it's at when it comes to the Star Wars world. And what's wild to me is both in Marvel and Star Wars, they start out with these banger shows in WandaVision and Mandalorian. It's how did you mess it up? You had some of the best shows right at the beginning, and you went and did other stuff. But hey, yeah, I love this premiere. It definitely has like a style and a feel that like no other Mandalorian. The minute you watch it, you know you're watching the Mandalorian, and I felt that with this. I think at times not that it did anything wrong. I think I just have a higher standard for Mandalorian, and so it's like I felt at times it expositioned where it could have done a cool show, stuff like that. But overall, I enjoyed the ride. I want to like watch it again and again. Like it was a good time.
I think my big thing with this episode is that, here's the thing. I remember like in the early days, like season 1, I'd always load up I would wake up at like 4 a.m. to watch The Mandalorian. I'd load it up and I'd see the runtime. And a lot of the times I'm like, why isn't this an hour? It's so sad. And this morning or yesterday morning, I loaded up and I'm like, 37 minutes. No, like give me more. But guess what? They accomplished so much in such a small amount of time, and it didn't mess with the pacing at all for me. And that's something that like those 3 things, short length, pacing, and accomplishing a lot. That's something you can almost never say about a show. So I thought it really did accomplish a lot here, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and they set up like small little things that are probably going to come up later, like the Pirate King, and we'll talk about all this other stuff. Like it did all that in such a short amount of time of like getting us towards a direction, while also setting up these like side, A, B, C's, Q's, and D's, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you guys are down, I will throw us into the episode here. And we have an interesting opening here. Honestly, like I didn't know what was going on. Like I didn't know if this was a flashback. Like I feel like we missed a lot of stuff with the armor. Like how like Tommy, you were saying that in the Book of Boba Fett we kind of miss a lot of the story of Mando in the middle there. I feel like the armor had their own story going on, because last time we saw the armor, it was just the armor and Paz, and now they have like a clan. They're recruiting another foundling, and they're doing their little ceremony. I'm gonna throw this out here, guys. And I don't know if it's a hot take. I hate the armorer. I hate this character. This is a cult leader. They're not nice. They have weird rules. They're not even like anything remotely similar to the Mandalorians besides the gear. Like Jerry, I'll throw it to you. Am I off base here? Are you an armorer fan?
No, I'm definitely not, because I think lore-wise they're like supposed to be like an offshoot of what is it called, Death Watch, right, from like Clone Wars, like which were like some of like the main villains of like the whole like Mandalorian arc when Mandalore going down and everything. So any offshoot of that is going to be like pretty awful and kind of culty. But I think it opens up, because we're gonna have to see certain characters that we haven't seen yet, like what's her name from Rebels, Sabine. Yeah, Sabine, right? Because she's also related to the Death Watch people. I think all the surviving Mandalorians are kind of related to that Death Watch connection. So I agree with you. Yeah, the armorer I don't like her. They're weird, culty.
And the other thing is, Mando is a simp. I said it, okay? He loves the armor. He's doing everything he can to please her. He's like, okay, I will go bathe on this toxic planet. And listen, this is not good. I don't like this.
But Michael, she did save him. Like that's Mando. Like this is his parental figure in a sense. This is how I took it. But yeah, I mean, definitely like a cult. I'm not like trying to condone her cult behavior. I have a theory about this, Michael, about the armor and the whole cult. I'm going to break it wide open. You heard it here first. I think that the armor, the reason they don't want them to take off the mask, they're frauds. They're not even Mandalorians. They just took over the mantle, the armor, all this jazz. That's why they don't want to take off their masks. They're going to reveal it's going to be like boss underneath. It's going to be like random bounty hunters.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, Darth Maul. Just bring them all out. Jar Jar. That's how we get Jar Jar back, Michael.
Oh, no. John, I got to get your takes here on the armor. Is the armor a fraud? Let's start there.
Maybe. And when I again that one, I forget the name of the woman who has, she doesn't have the Mandalorian helmet on. She has it off, and she tells Mando that he's part of a cult. Um, I forget her name, but she kind of.
Bo-Katan.
Oh yeah,
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan just kind of puts things in perspective, and maybe the armor, just to Tommy's point, maybe the armor is a fraud, and it's just like the new leader of this type of code. Because I'm just like, damn, Mando's going out of his way to atone for himself, to go bathe in these, in these rivers and everything. I'm like, God damn, it must mean that much to him. And I love the determination, and I love how he's dead set on it. It's just, he has these people around him who are like, bro, you can chill out. But the armorer, just whatever the armorer says, Mando really takes to heart, and that's kind of how he goes about his missions. I'm like, damn, the armorer must really be kind of like a parental figure, like Tommy said. So it's just, I don't know. I've never been crazy about the armor. I just thought there was a lot of history behind this character because how involved they are in this show. So I assume that they had a lot of lore in Star Wars, but they sure do give him a lot of attention in this show.
Yeah, I suspect we're gonna find out a lot. I think there's more to it. I think Tommy has a point here. I don't know if it's Jar Jar, but I would. We also get the scene here where they're kind of like baptizing this new Mandalorian here. They get them the helmet, and then they get attacked by this monster. I was like, did they not know the monster was there? I don't know. It seemed dangerous to me here.
Did you think this was Dinich at first? I thought this was like a flashback at first. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I was
Same.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
Yeah,
flashback.
very much set up like that, I think. And I was like, how old is the armor? It's like
Yeah.
I was like literally wondering that right before the monster came out.
Yeah. No, I had the same thought again. Like, how did she get there's 40 people here, like at this baptism. I'm like, where did the team come from? It is what it is. But yeah, any thoughts about there was like a whole fight scene, like a whole monster movie right here, with this thing coming out, eating people, and then of course Mando saves the day. So I didn't know if anyone had the individual thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a very specific shot I saw of when they sink the hooks into the skin, and you could see that it's like actual, it's not CGI, like they shoot it into something and it vibrates a certain way. I thought that was really cool. If the show goes out of its way, in a good way, to make everything feel like it's there, which is cool, I think. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight. I just thought it kind of made the cult look kind of weak. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I guess I've never fought a giant crocodile monster thing, but I felt like they took them all. I don't think they would have took it down.
It makes Pedro Pascal look cooler.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely makes me. Well, that's the thing. I always thought that was gonna be his way back in. He's gonna be like, I just saved your lives. I still have to go bathe in this random pool underneath the planet.
Yeah, I was questioning some of the techniques of some of them against that big ass alligator. I was like, I've seen Mando take down just what seems like entire platoons of people, and this big ass alligator is about to just KO everyone.
I think everyone in Star Wars is just really incompetent, though. It's just everyone's kind of sucks at doing stuff.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, the stormtroopers can't aim, but then look at the battle droids, and then now just everybody. There's 4 people that are strong in Star Wars. So, okay, here. So let's go to. I meant to freaking Google this, and I feel bad. Maybe Jerry can clear me up because I'm super confused about what happens next year. Okay, well, first we talk to the armor. We talk about the living waters. He's going to bathe himself. But they go into the ship, and they're going through hyperspace, and Grogu is looking at something in space here. Does anybody know what this is? I think it's something. I just I don't know.
Yeah, these are the things from Rebels. The Purgils. They're foreshadowing, I think, a little bit because I don't want to spoil too much, but big things in Rebels with these things.
Well, you can spoil Rebels.
I can spoil. They're the whole end game. They're like the whales that take the people away.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Why? I've watched Rebels twice. I don't know.
There's big hyper. So basically, there's big hyperspace whales, and they come in and help them get through hyperspace when their ship is broken, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
see,
help, and then they use the main guy is like uses them. It's a whole thing.
yeah.
Rebels is
So
incredible. Go watch it, please.
yeah, Rebels is pretty good. It's good. It's like a good Clone Wars like sequel, and then the Bad Batch is filling everything in, which I think is pretty cool. You know,
Yeah.
but
Not us
yeah,
like
there's some
hating
good.
on Bad Batch, and you're like,
Oh no, I mean I'm not caught up on the new season. I don't know if it's good or
okay,
not, but
it's hit or miss. Let's put it that way.
yeah, because the first season was pretty good,
Yeah.
and then this season is I don't know. I haven't seen it, but
Let's
we'll
just say we're
see.
choosing to watch a show about zombies that has nothing to do about Star Wars and Marvel over Bad Batch.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, I'm so glad you guys explained that because I remember that scene so vividly, and I was like, "What the hell are those creatures? That's so scary!" Like, I was like, "Those are hyperspace creatures. Those are creatures traveling at hyperspeed. That's fucking nuts." So I thought it was pretty scary.
Yeah, I think they're trying to create like one really connected universe now, which is cool. Like I think Star Wars is like the first thing to like successfully, I think, have something that's animated and have it in live action, have it be like the same thing, like canon wise, which I think is like really really cool. Like Rosario Dawson, like Ahsoka is the same Ahsoka as the Clone Wars, you know. So I think that's pretty cool. Like and it's just little details like that that fill it out, you know. That way, when you watch Rebels, you're like, oh, those are the whale things I saw in the Mandalorian. You know?
Yeah, it's also making the world feel full. Like I think this is the move. Instead of getting all these cameos of people, just have these species and different species that we know from all these different properties. That makes it feel rich and full without it feeling like everybody knows each other.
Yeah, and I think a good one is like we did talk about a little bit in Bad Batch, but like things like the relationship between Trandoshans and Wookiees, right? Like that's a kind of thing that's like a world altering conflict going on. And when you see a Trandoshan or you see a Wookiee, you kind of get like the history and why they're doing the things they do. So yeah, I love that type of world building in Star Wars. I want to talk about here because we are going back. Yes, Tommy.
Are you gonna? I was gonna go back and real quick. The conversation with Armor and
Okay.
Mando. I wanted to talk about the Mandalorian shard.
Oh yeah. I don't. Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot to say, but
Well, just like it can lie, it can't. It can go. Blah, 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 blah. It like legitimized the glassing, which is like the idea that they like glassed these surfaces and areas on Mandor and all that stuff. But also the inscription, I guess, is straight out of the Bible. Like if people have people are crazy out there, and so they've basically decoded it. The inscription is straight out of the Bible, and it's a passage about the Jewish enslavement by the Egyptians. That's a lot to do with like a lot of, if you don't know, like Mandalorian lore is connected to that. A lot of it was based on that kind of those passages from the Bible. So I just thought it was an interesting thing that they put in there.
nice. Good pull. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, clearly I didn't look it up. So
I'm a hey, Twitter's a wonder. I won't say I got this on my
own. We love Twitter. Okay, so now we're gonna go see our good buddy Grief Karga, High Magistrate here. They go to Navarro. Navarro is so fun. I love this location. I love this town. All the characters, the background people. It's so built out. You get like the little Salacious Crumb people. You get like there's a droid who's like a chef and he's like chopping everything up with his multiple. I loved all of this scene. I love the world they're building out here. What do you guys think about seeing Grief and Navarro in general?
I thought it was dope. The boy Apollo Creed. But I enjoyed the entire scene, and I don't know. I love the costumes, and I love the world that it felt like, and it was, like you said, it was very built up, and he kept acknowledging that he he was the high magistrate now. He got a little promotion and everything, so it was cool. It was an enjoyable scene, and it was very fun. So
yeah, it looked a lot more well put together compared to like that first season of The Mandalorian, which is really, really, really cool difference where it looked all dystopian, fascist, and then it switches to this. It looks cool. It looks like a normal Star Wars town now, and they want to be free from the new Empire or whatever, whatever happens in Force Awakens. So like, and we got Carl Weathers, to come back, do a little bit of Carl Weathers stuff. So that's always fun. He looks like he's up to something though. Maybe. Um, I don't know. Right? Was Carl Weathers a little sketchy?
Are you
What do you,
sus on Carl Weathers?
what do you think? What do you guys think?
I think I think he's got a heart of gold. Tommy, what is there?
I don't know. That one, I mean, he was really pushing like, we're gonna be independent. It's gonna be,
Yeah, the boy is antsy. The boy is antsy.
See, what's weird though is like if this was like the original trilogy era, right? When somebody says, "I want to be independent from the Empire," you're like, "Hell yeah, man!" But now we're under the New Republic, which are the good guys, and he's like, "I want to be independent." So what does that mean? And I get his point. Like, I don't want to go. Like, this could become the new Empire, and I want to be independent from that. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, I was less sussed out on that. More sussed out on when just little things like when the guy called him magistrate, he's like, "Hi, magistrate," and it's like, ooh, like maybe he's gonna get a little, power hungry or whatever. Because he looks like he knows he's in charge of stuff. Like I
yeah.
don't know. In Star Wars, anyone could turn evil like at any point. So,
Well, especially if this is all in jeopardy, I could definitely see a situation where he like turns in Mando or something. A Lando classic Lando move of turning people for to keep your cushy lifestyle. I could definitely see that happening in some way.
You know what? Seeing Carl Weathers was cool and all, but what about those droids that was like carrying his cloak? Did you guys catch up on that? He had like two little droids.
Yeah, when I
saw
noticed
that.
that, it was very funny. There's like three, I think. I think there's one like in the middle. There's like two on each end.
I will say with Navarro, this is one of my issues. It is so hard to know how much time passes in this stuff. I know Navarro has come out and said like Grogu was with Luke for 2 years. And like time has definitely been moving because we can clearly see it here. I don't know. Is that just me? Is it hard for anyone else to track? I'm like, oh man, we've really been moving through time.
I go by when it comes to Mandalorian, I go by like video game logic because it very much feels like a video game, and I've always felt that like there's always like a main objective and like these little side quests that he has to do, and it's literally like a video game at some points where it's like actual fetch quests,
For real.
Like I think like this is that what this episode is, right? It was like a fetch quest. This upcoming episode, so he can go back and then he can go to the planet and um so by video game logic, anything that's like gameplay is probably like real time. It feels like a day, and then anything that we don't see, it could usually sometimes be years, But yeah,
I mean, hell, it's been 2.5 years since we saw Mandalorian last, if you're not counting Book of Boba Fett. So I think it's real time at this point, baby. Let's go.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Okay, so a couple other things happen here. They go up to his room, and he wants them to like come stay there. Mando's like, I still have a mission to accomplish. But I think the next big plot point here is the pirates. We get I think his name is Vane, and he's there at the school, which used to be a bar, and he's like, we want to drink at the school, and they're not having it. So I just want to say, I think very clearly it's kind of set up to maybe be like a mini arc of this season with these pirates. Like, I can't imagine this is the last we see of them. But I love these guys. And this is what I love about Star Wars. It's just like, these like seedy individuals that are just grimy, and I just thought it was so fun. It's a very simple good versus evil, as always in Star Wars, but really well built out. I loved it.
do you guys know about Holdo?
Yes.
Yeah, do you think we're gonna see him? It looks like they're building up to. We're seeing a lot. They've been building up to it for years. I think we see a little bit more of his race here and there. So for John,
I thought we were gonna get Hondo. Yeah, I thought for sure when they were
Hondo.
Yeah, I thought for sure we were gonna get this because Disney loves this guy. They literally built a freaking ride just to showcase him more. Like,
yeah. So John, if you don't know John, Hondo is like the main like pirate guy from Clone Wars. He's like the pirate homie. So
Got you. Is he of that alien race that was trying to drink at the school? They were hilarious.
one of them was the same race as him. Yeah, like all scaly in the face.
Yeah, he
Uh,
was like, "This is a school." He's like, "Well, we're gonna drink here, asshole."
exactly. Yeah, this is fun show. But yeah, he's they've been building him up for years. So he might be in it, John. So now you know, you're in the know.
Yeah, would love to see Hondo. Yeah.
I will say though, I love this Pirate King. I love this. Like we'll get to him later, but man, I kind of like this Pirate King better than Hondo. Like this guy looks sick.
Dude, he's a cross between Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean and like Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing, yeah.
So green. It was just awesome. It was very mossy.
Yeah, definitely need more of him. But yeah, so yeah, they're here. They're trying to drink at the school. They're acting like me in high school. But they end up firing at the pirates. They kill off, and Vane runs off. And we get a lot of dialogue up next here. A lot of interesting stuff. A lot of tidbits. We find out the fates of Moff Gideon and Cara Dune. I think my brother and I talked about Cara Dune a lot, how they're going to explain this. I was like, my theory was they were just never going to mention it again. But they did bring out Cara Dune. Cara Dune was recruited to the Special Forces, and Moff Gideon is at a war tribunal. So there you go. That's the fates of the two characters. Are we going to see Moff Gideon again? Does anyone have an opinion on that?
He'll probably be in the Ahsoka show.
Okay, yeah, good point.
Yeah, I could see him go. Yeah, I could see him cross show. I think that's
because he'll probably be what's his blue guy,
Thrawn.
He'd probably be Thrawn's friend.
Mm.
I could see that happening. Thrawn and Moff getting together.
Gosh, even mentioning Thrawn, I'm just that's gonna be my juice.
Did you get goosebumps too?
I think he's supposed to be the main villain of the Ahsoka show. I think, right?
Yeah, I've heard rumors.
Ezra casted. They casted everyone. Like I think Sabine, Ezra, the whole Rebels cast. It's like a live action Rebels sequel series. It's awesome.
I gotta watch Rebels. You
gotta watch Rebels.
The boy Gerardo's been telling me, he's like, it's dope because I love 1 through 3. I mean, episode 1 is what got me into Star Wars. I was a kid, so that's what got me into Star Wars. So it's dope that it's kind of canon with everything else. So I gotta watch it.
Got to. All right, guys, y'all ready for my first complaint of the episode? The next plot point here is Mando's like, we need him. IG-11, the statue in the town. This is by far the most ridiculous thing they've ever done in Mandalorian. Mando's like, can we just like bring him back to life? Grief's like, no, of course not. But then as they bring him down and they're kind of walking him through everything, he's like, well, we have like these really good droid technicians. And it's like, you're telling me nobody tried, like there was a way to bring him back. And even Mando, like when he first gets him, he's like, let me just plug him in. And he like came to life. And I'm like, you could have done more for IG-11. He's just been standing in the town square this entire time. Are you kidding me? Oh boy. It was so dumb that I actually enjoyed it. So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts about IG-11, I guess, is coming back.
No, I had to rewind that scene. I was like, why the fuck does he? Well, I was like, hold on. Like, what's the purpose? He needs IG-11 to go do something. So, I mean, apparently to guide him on Mandalore. I was like, damn, it's that important? You gotta dig up his fucking remains?
That's Taika Waititi, right?
It is, yes. It is.
Oh, yeah, the boy.
Yeah.
I literally think they just wanted to, like, I think sometimes they just are like, we want these things to happen. How do we get that thing? And I think they just wanted to bring in Babu Freak's species into this. And they were like, all right, well, they're like kind of tinkerers. Okay, there is a droid in the first season. Let's bring, everybody loves IG. Why not? Let's do it. Bring him back. I didn't need that. This is where I'm like, I feel like we're just wasting. We only have 37 minutes, and I feel like we're wasting time a little.
Tommy, see, I hear what you're saying, but like, I did love IG-11. You know, they kind of, I forget the guy's name. He kind of rebuilt him, and like IG-11 was like good. He was like a maid almost. Like, I kind of liked that character, and we didn't get a whole lot of him. But like, we also get this really cool scene here where like it turns into like a horror movie monster when he comes to life, right? Like it's almost like Frankenstein, and like I don't know. I thought it was. I really, as dumb as it is, like truly dumb, and a lot of things in Star Wars are dumb. I actually really enjoyed it.
That's what Star Wars is, you know.
Yeah.
If you enjoy it, it's good, you know.
And truly, honestly, Grogu probably needs a babysitter because like Grogu's up to some shenanigans. He was still in M&Ms or whatever those little pomegranate seeds or whatever those things were. Like Grogu's out, and then later he's a monster and just taking. We'll talk about it, but like Grogu needs some lessons. Is all I'm trying to say.
I was about to eat one of those little Tinkerer guys. that was one of my highlights.
I believe they're called the Anzellans, and we can talk about the Anzellans now. Here's another thing I was unsure of. I maybe should have fact checked. Are one of these guys Babu Frick? The main guy looked like Babu Frick.
Is that's the guy from
Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker, yeah. Right? Because it just looked straight out of that movie.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's him.
It's not confirmed, but yeah, it definitely looked like.
Because everyone has to know each other in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You know? There's only one. We need Babu Freak. Bring him back, you cowards.
Exactly. He was a fan favorite.
Not the next investigative podcast, Tommy.
Hey!
Yeah. Here, this is my favorite quote from him in this episode. He said a lot of funny things. It broke, stuff like that. But he says, "Did you hear it? Oh no, my sound clips aren't working." He says, "Bad baby," when Grogu tries to get hold on to him.
Hilarious. That was hilarious.
So disappointing.
That was one of the funniest parts of the episode.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, Grogu's the villain of this. There's gonna be there's a support group for people that Grogu has like harmed. The fish people with their baby eggs, they're gonna be part of it. These guys, like Grogu is out there just does not care who he hurts in his curiosity escapades.
It's just a baby,
That baby. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think maybe I'm too hard on Grogu, Michael. Maybe I'm too hard.
I mean, he's a little shit, but he's our little shit.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. So, yeah, we talked about all of them. We will go on to Mando's leaving the planet now, and we get another interaction with the pirates. Really cool, like, dogfight scene here, starfighter scene. Really good music in the scene as well. There's, like, an iteration of the Mandalorian theme. Yeah, I didn't know if you guys had any thoughts on the starfighter scene.
Yeah, that scene was dope. I mean, the boy was just flying off of, like, asteroids, picking them off. It was dope, just a vengeful pirate. It was like, you killed 4 of my boys. Is this
the first time we've seen his new ship like in action, like this, right?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, in this capacity for sure.
Yeah, because Boba Fett was more like a little.
Yeah,
man, he didn't do as much, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning of the episode, he shoots the guy with the lizard thing with the ship.
I think we're gonna get a lot of the ship, which is cool. Yeah. It's like one of those retro. It's like episode 1 type ships.
I gotta bring this up because a good friend of the podcast, Greg Dunlap, had messaged me and asked about this. He wants to know about like the bathroom situation in the Starfighter. How do they go? And like he had like a freighter before, and like it had a bathroom, it had like sleeping quarters. Like, this doesn't feel as functional as what he had before. So, how does he use the restroom, guys?
Simple.
I think it's just faster.
Yeah, it's just faster, so he can stop. He can go at the next pit stop, huh?
Yeah, you never need to go. It's just too quick.
The other one is
simple. The pod opens up. Grogu hangs on, and like just goes as they continue going down. They space and pee.
Do Yoda's pee though?
That, I guess, is the bigger question.
I was going to say that would make no sense for so many reasons that if he did that, but guess what? Nothing in space in Star Wars makes sense, ever. Yeah. So,
I will say with this Pirate King scene, I did have one gripe. Mando, why are you leaving these pirates to now attack this city that is prosperous? You're leaving, you didn't even warn the High Magistrate that like this is happening, and now these pirates are mad, and you just left. You just pieced. That's got to come up, right? Like he's going to take over the town.
Because the big set piece of the next episode is going to be the robot coming back and killing all the pirates.
Oh, Let's go. That would be dope.
Mando comes back and
Yeah.
there's a murder robot on the loose.
Yeah, I could see that happen. He comes back and it's taken over. Probably episode 3, we're gonna get Taika Waititi just killing a bunch of pirates.
Dude, that would
sounds
be
I
fun.
can
wild.
see that. I can see that.
He's like wearing Grief's coat and with the droids carrying it, and like he's like the High Magistrate now. Like the place is burning.
Oh yeah,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
You think Carl Weathers is gonna die?
Oh wow.
Right.
But he still has the objective to like take care of Grogu, so he's now a murder robot. It's like, leave my baby alone. Stab,
Yeah.
stab.
Oh my god! I think we probably just wrote a better story than whatever they're going to come up with.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so the final scene here we get is Mando is going to Calamara. They're going to this Mandalorian castle, and Bo-Katan's posted up in her throne, and he's basically like wanting help here. And Bo-Katan's like, "Nah, we're not doing that. You took my dartsaber. Nobody likes me. You're in a cult. Like, I'm Team Bo-Katan all the way. Like, she is so right. I'm on like every level here."
Yeah, I agree. She listed it like that too. Just, you're in a cult. You took my sword. Just go find the people if you want. They're all mercenaries.
up.
It's crazy. It's like all the work from the past few seasons, that she's been doing, just gone. It's all Mando's fault because of he's in a cult. That's what happens.
Yep. So,
The
unless anyone else,
I think the indoctrination thing is gonna be like the biggest thing this season.
I was
and
gonna
maybe-
ask that. Yeah, like what's the goal? Like, is his trip to Mandalore? Is that like the season finale? Right? Like, we're all gonna be building up to that the entire time?
I think it's gonna be like a mid-season thing, and then something's gonna happen with the cult where they're gonna do something that he doesn't like. Maybe they're not gonna let Grogu in or something. And he's just gonna renounce them, and then we get Pedro Pascal's face next season. I think that's the end goal.
Grogu's more of a Mandalorian than any of those people. I don't care what anyone says.
Right. He lives it. He walks the walk.
Yeah.
I do think we spend a good amount of time on Mandalore this season. I think this is the focus. I think we're going to get tons of lore, tons of trying to potentially like bring it back to a degree. I think this is our focus of the season. I think it's that plus him hopefully leaving the cult and like joining up with Bo and like going to actually make Mandalore a good place and not do cult stuff. Let's get out of the cult. Unless we want like a friend. Could we have a good cult? Could this show prove that maybe cults are...
Well, I could see Mandalore coming back, and then Ahsoka was a really big part of the Mandalore arc too. So by the time the Ahsoka series, does that come out this year?
I think everything's up in the air with Disney Plus right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
It's hard to
the Ahso-
tell.
Yeah, right. But the Ahsoka series, I think that's gonna tie in a lot with whatever happens with Mandalore, because it's always a big deal. We're gonna have Sabine. We're gonna have a lot of people that are tied to all that history of Mandalore in that show. So I think you're definitely right. And by the end of it, they're gonna try to start rebuilding Mandalore. We might see the results of that in Ahsoka. That'd be cool.
Yep. Well, all right, guys. That is that brings us to the end of the episode. Are there any other final thoughts on the Mandalorian here?
Oh, damn. I thought it was a hell of a premiere. I thought it was very enjoyable. When I saw that it was 37 minutes, I was like, damn, that's not very long. But when you watch it, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's 30. It feels like a lot of shit happens within that time.
I
So
like
it was really enjoyable.
I like the shorter shows. You can squeeze them in. It's a little
You can
easier.
run through them. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's a
can run
little
through 'em.
easier. You don't have to put so much time aside compared. You could squeeze a couple of these in if you miss one, instead of like spending 3 hours if you miss 2 episodes or something.
My only comment is, now that I've seen Pedro without a mask, all I want is Pedro without a mask. I don't know. It's now that I'm watching Last of Us, I want free Pedro, free the Mando, let him wear no mask.
I mean, I want Pedro, but also just like this weird like ritual of wearing the freaking mask. Who cares?
Because
I
they're
hate
all like I don't know. There's something going on, Michael. There's a reason they're not taking this mask off. You wait and see.
It's so funny. I was watching it with my wife, and she was like, I was like, they could never take their mask off. It's against their code. And she was like, well, how do they drink water and eat? I was like, well, I mean, I'm sure they can't do it. They have to do it in privacy. No one can see them. She was like, okay, I don't like it already.
That's the Mandalorian's weakness. You just gotta get them very thirsty, and then they gotta take their mask. That's how you get them. They'll be weak in battle.
Yeah. So, well, all right. Hey, so I want to do this real quickly. Here we typically do recommendations. I didn't warn you guys at all, so maybe you can think about something. We typically do recommendations at the end of the episode, whether it's a movie, TV show, book, comic, app, activity, whatever you want to leave people with in the audience. Because I have something that I want to talk about, and I went to go see Cocaine Bear. And that shit goes so hard. Go see that movie right now. It's so fun. And don't take it seriously. Like, if you go in there just like want to have a good time, you're going to be like, wow, this is like a 9 out of 10 movie. If you go in there looking for like the next best picture, like go home.
It's not winning an Oscar.
Unfortunately not. I would win my Oscar. Like, it's just fun. It's a fun freaking movie.
But imagine that Oscar speech, Michael. The bear goes up there with a little bow tie on. And then
I can't do this, Tommy.
And then he's up there and he just starts snorting cocaine right up on the award stage.
I gotta watch it. I love that R-rated movies are bringing people to the theater. We need more R-rated comedies to bring people to the movie theater besides comic book spectacles. I love when R-rated comedies are bringing people to the theater. I don't know. A lot of people wouldn't watch this, so I gotta go watch Cocaine Bear.
You gotta watch it. It's good. It's good. Actually, I think it's more cool than it is funny. I'll put it that way. It's like, it is technically a comedy. I didn't laugh as much, but I was more like, so like when I'm watching like a Star Wars movie, right? I've been waiting for years. I finally get in the theater on opening night and I'm sitting there and, I watch Snoke get cut in half or something. I like stand up with my hands, like, it's like, oh my God, this movie had moments like that. And it's like not even Star Wars. So I'm just putting it out there. Okay, who wants to go next? Does anyone have a recommendation?
I do. I have a recommendation. I have a recommendation, and can I also endorse something I was on? A podcast that you listened to, Michael?
Yes, sir. It was a good podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate you at least listen to the podcast of the said show. So first recommendation. Hey, I'm a big animated guy. I love my animated shows. I've been going back in time watching shows I wish I did watch it when they were on, but I didn't. And I have now stumbled upon Steven Universe. What a great show. I'm loving my journey so far. I just finished season 1. If you haven't checked it out, very much of most of the shows I recommend, Over the Garden Wall themes, Infinity Train themes, a lot of adult themes, a lot of like dealing with queerness, there's so many underlayered themes in this show, and I'm really enjoying the journey. And I was on a podcast, not this podcast, but like another. I went and traveled over to the Two Dudes Watch Cartoons podcast, and Michael, I have the record over there. I beat the last record holder, who was me, and I have now been on 5 times on that podcast, and we covered The Legends of Vox Machina. People have heard me talk at length of this. They had their season 2, and we talked about it. I thought it was a pretty good podcast. So if you have time and / want to hear more of me ramble, go check out their podcast and that pod.
And it was a good podcast. I don't watch the show, but I still listen to the podcast. Tommy, I do have a question after listening to that podcast, and I hope if you hold out on me right now, we might have to get a divorce. Can you move your head a little bit to like the left? Yeah, I see it there. What's with the John Stamos picture, man?
This has been here since literally we've started this podcast. And you have just noticed that I have a John Stamos picture behind me.
Well, you're here for such a historic moment.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of sitting in front of it, at least now. Yeah. I think usually you are. Well, can you at least give us a hint? I know it was like a big secret on that podcast. You wouldn't tell them what it was, why you had it.
Well, if you sign up for the $15 patron, you can find out why I have. No, it's a long story. It's not as cool as like the mystery of it. Basically, it was a long bit where I told a music team. I was in musicals back when I was in high school. I made a long story about how I am such a method actor that I would sit in its room in the dark, drinking lemon zinger tea and staring at a picture of John Stamos to contemplate what it really means to be an actor. And so, as a graduation gift, my said teacher gave me this picture of John Stamos, and I've had it ever since. And he is my inspiration. Just whenever I'm down, I just look at good old John over there, and also this John, and just be like, man, this is where I am in life.
That was a trip, Tommy. Thank you for. I know you didn't want to share it, but thank you for doing that.
Yeah, if people thought I would, like, this is new weird Tommy, I was this weird in high school.
Yeah, no, this is Tom. This is just Tommy, guys. Either you guys have a recommendation you want to leave people with?
The Last of Us is pretty good. If
Yeah.
anybody hasn't seen that, go watch that. If you don't have time to play the game, it's a little more time efficient, I guess. Because the game will take you, like 12 hours, 15 hours. You know, the show, a few hours, you're just watching it. So it's a pretty good show. I've been rewatching Dragon Ball Z. That's fun. It's a good show. It's just a bunch of guys screaming, getting stronger. It's a great time. What about you, John?
Oh man, you know I'm venturing into a different realm here, gentlemen. I'm moving into reality TV.
Let's go.
I
We love
know.
reality TV.
Oh, good. For the I mean, Gerardo's already heard. You know, we've been friends for years. So a few years back, casting director reached out to me. Like Tommy, I'm also an actor, and they were trying to get me on Survivor, the reality show Survivor. So my wife and I have been. That was in 2017. Since then, I'm on my second kid. Got married, you know, so things have changed. But now we're binging it so much, and we're so just entranced by Survivor, and we really believe I can go on and do well. So I'm auditioning for season 46, which is going to open up in fall. So yeah, season 46, I'm going to audition for Survivor. I recommend it. It's on Paramount Plus. It's one of the most enjoyable reality TV shows I've ever watched. And yeah, I've told Gerardo many times, so he's pumped. He's excited for the boy. But yeah, I recommend Survivor. It's one of my favorite reality shows, and I'm an audition for season 46. So
Let's go, John.
John, we've never talked about this. Tommy and I. This is kind of indirectly. This is Survivor. Might be the reason Tommy and I know each other. We're both massive Survivor fans. I've applied a time or two. I was going to share. I have a hidden immunity idol. We're massive, and Tommy has memorabilia, I think, too.
I have my Survivor finale Ghost Island bracelet that we wore.
What the hell? This is no accident. I just stumbled on actual super. I love it. Oh my god!
Yeah.
So the new season just came out this week. So that's the newest episode. It's really good. This is season 44 is out. I can't audition for season 45 because I have a kid who's gonna be here tomorrow. Season 46, I'm gonna audition for in the fall. So yeah, that's my recommendation. I can't believe you got that. Oh my gosh, that's so dope. You guys are fans. That's so dope. I love it.
John, if I see you on the island, my man, you know we're good.
I got you.
And if I'm there too, John, you know who we're getting first.
Yeah, Tommy.
Oh, I can't even point to you.
Yeah. All right, guys. This is so much fun. I appreciate you guys so much for coming on here. It's always a pleasure, John, to have you, and Jerry to meet you as well. I want to give you guys the chance to tell people where they can find your podcast and everything else you got going on online.
Oh yeah, I'll let the boy Gerardo. But yes, thank you guys for having me again. I can't wait till next time. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So you guys can find us on Apple Podcasts. You guys can find us on Spotify at Cast of Color. We'd like to talk about all things film, TV, and entertainment there, with the focus on diversity. Diversity in the movie industry, TV industry, you know, the whole deal. And it's a lot of fun over there. We review any movie coming out. You know, we're gonna have our Ant-Man episode dropping here soon. We'd love to have you guys on sometime. So yeah, everyone can follow us again on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Cast of Color, and listen to us on Spotify or Apple Music. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks. I love what you guys are doing over there. So keep up the good work. Tommy, anything else? Any other tidbits before we close out?
you know, if you're,
I
if
love
you're
when I
just-
throw this question at you and you have no idea.
Well, listen. I guess the only other thing we covered Last of Us. If you haven't listened to that pod, me and we covered that, right? We did the episodes. It was great. And
We'll be back next week, right?
Yeah, make sure to brush your teeth every day. What other things can we tell people?
We're buying time. Touch grass?
Touch grass sometimes. I don't know.
All right, guys. I will close this out here. I'd like to remind you guys to rate and review us on Spotify, preferably 5 stars. Also, please subscribe because we're going to be here every single week with Mando stuff and every other week for The Last of Us. And I think we're putting a pause on talking about the Bad Batch. We'll get back to it. We'll cover the season as a whole, I think.
That prediction of yours, Michael, isn't looking
Tommy,
too great about.
Tommy, let's not talk about that, okay? Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at Star Wars Pod. We also have some merch in the show notes if you want to check that out. Also, ask us for our Discord link because we got a little Discord community going on. We'd love to have you guys. But that is all we got for you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and this is the way.
Bye.
I see where the musical theater comes in.